Here's a crazy story that happened on Stateside that actually, like, it ended up with like an incredibly, like, a really happy ending. It's like you have to know the whole tour to like really appreciate how crazy it was. So, crazy tour story that happened Stateside. Now, it wasn't necessarily one event; it was a collection of events. I had just started touring full time. I had went out with this sort of like Native American artist named Red Cloud. So I went out with him and kind of saw how he sort of like organized his whole tours. Like, just I really got I figured out the hustle. And then after a while, I was like, yo, I think I could do this. So I called one of the homies who, I don't want to say his name because it's going to paint him out as the bad guy, because he's actually like a really good friend. But this situation was awful, right? But we were planning just like, you know, I live in LA, born and raised in LA, so we were planning like what we were just calling like the 5 North Tour. So it was just basically like you just take the 5 freeway. If you start in San Diego, or you start in Tijuana, you could end up in Canada and in Vancouver. So we were like, we'll just do that. You know, me and you, I have a truck, we'll just take my truck, pool our resources, all the places we get. We just, you know, San Diego, LA, the Bay Area, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, come back home, right? I thought it was super clever. You know, we were both part of like mega crews, so it kind of like made sense, like us two doing it. It was a great time. Both of our dating lives, like kind of separately, kind of coincided with each other. We always met girls around the same time, and we always broke up with those girls around the same time. So we was always either in relationships or single at the same time. It was the weirdest thing. Never planned it, that's just how it happened. This time we had both like, were in, had ended some relationships that were just generally they were just not good looks, right? So we had both broke off a relationship, both single, and at the time, we had both separately again struck an interest with some young ladies in Portland, right? So and it happened separately, right? So we were both like, yo, you know, we should do this thing, and then like maybe we'll spend some extra time in Portland. Like I met this shorty up in Portland. He was like, fool, I met this shorty up in Portland. We were like, what? It's just like, this is perfect. So, and at the time, he couldn't drive stick, and my truck was a stick. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to do all the driving. So I'm like, okay, let's go. We do the first city, it was dope. Do the second city, Fresno. We ended up having to skip San Francisco, so it was a really long drive. We like stayed the night there and crushed it all the way to Portland. And if you know that drive, like the drive from the Bay Area to Portland, that's 10 hours. That's like it's like 10 hours. It's a hard drive, right? But we were in such a hurry to get there because we had both like met young ladies. Like, so he was like, yo, I'm gonna get there, you gonna do this. We had so many mutual friends staying in the city. He was like, yo, it's all good. We'll chill here for a while, go up to do Seattle one, come back down, it's gonna be dope. I get there, we chilling, we meet up, we about to have dinner with like, young lady I'm interested in. He breaks off, he's about to go out with the young lady he's interested in. The young lady I'm interested in, again, it's mutual friends. Like these are all, like, this is an all friend circle. She, somehow something's not right, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she just, essentially, like, that night was like, I don't think this is gonna work, And I mean, I'm blindsided. Like, we're texting the whole ride up. Like, I'm thinking it's gonna be wonderful, right? The homie's out with his young lady. I'm thinking everything's working out with them. They going all good. I'm like, fam, I don't know what just happened, but like, she just dumped me. Like, if we have another 10 days here, like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? He's like, fam, I'm sorry, G, right? Next day, I'm at the crib, I get up, doing the thing. I see that lady that just dumped me pull up, and my homeboy gets in the car, they leave. And I'm like, what are you doing? Turns out they had history. Turns out, like, there was a thing with them years back. I just didn't know, right? We're gone, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. He's 5 days later, since we're there 5 days later, he's like, yo, I don't think it's gonna work with me and homegirl, the one he was interested in. And I was like, damn, it's crazy. We just like broke up again at the same time, right? It's crazy. It's crazy, right? We do Seattle, we do Vancouver, we come back home, we come back to Portland again because we planned all this extra time to like hang out with these girls. He finally goes, fam, I tell you something, man, like, I'm actually in love with the girl you was messing with. Like, they were literally like, what happened was she saw him, remembered all her feelings, and was like, I can't date your friend. I actually still have feelings for you. He did the same thing. He saw her, he was like, crap, I didn't know I still had feelings for her, right? They couldn't, Doc, they're married with 2 kids now. It's like, it's great, right? But the whole ride home, because he can't drive stick. So I'm driving home. I just got dumped for the homie, right? You know, and he's trying to like play it cool on some like, yeah, so it was a great tour, right? And I'm like, yeah, it was dope. They're like texting, getting to know each other, right? It's like, I was like, boy, I can't believe this happened, right? We get back to the city. So I just got dumped. We get back to the city. We had been gone for a while. My roommate stopped paying rent at the crib. I had been sending back my half of the rent. He wasn't paying his half. So we're the equivalent of 2 months behind, right? The apartment's flooded. You know, the bathroom flooded. So landlord's like, well, I'm not fixing anything because you're 2 months behind. And that was all news to me. And I was like, I have been out of town I am so sorry. She was like, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll hold on to your deposit. We'll just call it even. You just got to get out in 4 days. This is December 26th. So this is the day after Christmas, right? She's like, you got to get out in 4 days. I was like, Doc, I got to move out. Like, the lowest I was a full-time teacher. Like, so like I had benefits and I quit all that to pursue rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a master's in education and sociology. Like, what are you doing out here? You finna be homeless, right? Had to go live with my dad. There's a New Year's Eve gig that we have. A few days later, I'm apartmentless. After the end of the gig, we're going to just another like New Year's party with all the homies. The homies are in stitches laughing at how horrible, because I'm the only one with a college degree out of all the homies, and they're like, Doc, you're the one with the college degree, and look where you are right now. It's the funniest thing. You got dumped for your tour mate, my G. You got dumped for your tour mate, and now you got to go live with your father right now. And at the time, you're at the bottom of the barrel, so it's just funny, right? It's just funny. But the whole time while we laughing, sitting across the table, right, with all the homies, is another one of my homeboys' girlfriend's roommate, who the entire time while I was dating somebody else, I always thought she was gorgeous. You know, you sip a little bit of the confidence juice, I ain't got nothing to lose. I just got dumped on tour and I lost my apartment. I'm like, she works with underprivileged teens. She works in the inner city. I used to teach underprivileged teens. I know a little bit about working with urban youth. I'm the only college graduate. She was finishing her master's at Cal State Northridge. I'm like, why not? So I started chirping at her. Turns out she'd been interested in me the entire time. And I invited her to this like training up in Oakland that I was going to go do. I figured either she knew I was hitting on her, or if she wasn't interested, at least this is like, you know, training for her career. She knew I was hitting on her. That was New Year's Eve. March, confessed my love. June, we was in marriage counseling. November, I married her. That's my wife. So like, it turned out to be like the most amazing, like, loser tour moment. Now, like, we're married 7 years now.
I'm not a very selfish artist. I don't completely make music just to satisfy my fans, but I don't solely make music for myself either. I found a happy medium of understanding what people want to listen to and what I want them to hear.
You don't understand the realism and the work and the effort and the struggle and the infrastructure that goes into everything. You don't understand the pain and the struggle that makes you into the person that you are. You just want to be that person.
The religious side, the spiritual side of the community, to get back violent, and not guns or fighting, but violent and forceful. Take back with some sort of force, and not say, oh, God loves you, although your kid is dead.
I took over. I was just like, well, ain't nobody gonna talk about waves and the inspiration and why better than me. So I started talking. I'm like, yo, I started creating waves. Somebody on the other end of this table starts talking. So I started speaking louder. So I started creating waves. Somebody else starts talking. So I look at my manager. I'm just like, I look at John. I'm like,